Well, we've been receiving a lot of questions online in regards to the new Clesana waterless toilet that's now available through Elross Caravans and other manufacturers on the market. So today, what better way to do that is to actually speak to a customer that's got one in one of their vans, and we're going to go through a full review with you now. G'day, Jaron. Thanks for your time today, mate. We're going to talk about the Clesana today, and you're our very first customer that's had one fitted. So let's get straight into it and get down to the nitty gritty of whether it's worth it, how much does it cost, and all those other parameters as well.
Yeah, sure. I think probably the first place to start off with, and the biggest concern for us was not so much the initial cost, but the ongoing costs. I think it's around $50 for a 2-pack of your the sealable bags, medical grade sealable bags, and we worked it out. I worked it out that it was I think they suggested it's 20 to 25 sealable or bag seals per roll. So that $50 gets you 50 cycles, up to 50 cycles, so it works out about $1, a number 2 or number 1, whatever you're doing in there. So that was a little bit of a concern to begin with, of the $1 a cycle, but real life experiences. We did a trip up in England, 2 weeks up there, and it's we found that we just weren't. We found ways around it. Essentially, we got the liquid pot as well. So doing our number 1s in the liquid pot, and obviously just empty that out on the ground anywhere.
Yep.
Was obviously a big way to avoid using your sealable bags so much. So just use the sealable bags for your number 2s. It's evident to me now that it's a really good way for us to go, especially as a family. Obviously, being a family with 2 young kids, that was probably our second biggest concern with the OGO toilet or any composting toilet, was trying to toilet train 2 young kids how to separate their number 2s to number 1s. So that's with this, it doesn't matter whether if they do mix the 2 together. It's obviously it's all going the same place anyway. You seal it up. There's no smell. No spillages. It's all works really, really well in that sense as well. So,
and I guess you make the key point as well that with a composting toilet, you've always got that ongoing uncertainty with liquids and soil as well. So you've got to have the separation there as well. So I guess for families, especially in a family caravan, a Clesana makes a lot of sense, especially when you've got young kids, like you said before, trying to toilet train them to make sure that they're, keeping it all separated. With the Clesana, you can do a number 1 in the bag, and it's a lot easier for separating that. We're just doing the plastic weld function there as well. So I think that definitely does make a plausible case for the Clesana, especially in family caravans, to consider it. What do you want to touch on a little bit about, like, obviously some people are concerned about smells and all that sort of stuff as well. So
we didn't. Well, that was the thing. There was zero smell. We didn't experience any smell at all. Even obviously using the liquid pot, I'd stick that in at night, so you'd leave it there for overnight. Which reality is we didn't really use it that often anyway overnight. It was more first thing in the morning. Everyone gets up and wants to go to the toilet. So you just get in the habit of after breakfast or before breakfast, rather than let it sit there and go stale, fester. You just go and take it out in the bush, empty it out, bring it back. And it's all give it a quick rinse under the a little bit of water, tiny bit of water, just to rinse it out, just that residue. But that's the other great thing about them, is they're completely waterless. So they're a dry flush sort of system. So save a lot on water, which is great for off grid. And I think the other concern as well that we sort of read with the composting toilets with families of 4 in a small caravan, they just weren't getting the 4 weeks, 5 weeks. It was advertised. So everything I read, every review I read with families was great for couples, but with families, especially young kids, we're emptying that Ogo toilet every week, which just didn't seem reasonable or practical at all. So that was a great thing. We found was with this, it was empty your bag. Cut off your bag once it's sealed, and you chuck it straight into general waste rubbish.
I suppose that's the next question that a lot of people have queries around with the Clesana is how does it actually work when you're going to use the toilet as well? So it's probably poignant to touch on that.
Yeah, so look, you just go about your business as you normally would. Toilet paper, everything into the bowl, and then you literally you press a button. It'll go through a cycle. It takes about 30 seconds where it rolls the bag down. And it plastic welds that bag shut. They're medical grade plastic bags, so they're fairly tough, and no odour escapes from. And then it'll cut it off once it does, I think, 2 or 3 bags. So it'll almost joins as like a snake, 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
Drops off into the canister at the bottom, compartment at the bottom, and you just open that up, pull the bag out, and dispose of it as you normally would, I suppose, a nappy.
So it's
a nappy in a bag. Yeah, exactly right. So, it works really well.
Cleaning up, sanitisation, just like any other toilet, I would
Absolutely.
suppose.
Yeah. Just your bathroom cleaners, etc. So there's no or little to no sort of cleaning up as such. No more than any other toilet.
And I suppose that's probably a distinct advantage over a composting toilet from that perspective, is that it's a little bit less intensive in terms of keeping up with making sure that the microbes and all that sort of stuff are not contaminating.
Yeah, sure.
And keeping it nutrient rich. And that's not a disservice to any of the composting toilets as well, because I really do believe that composting toilets are at the forefront of toilet technology in caravans. This is just a different version that's available on the market, and giving some benefits to customers that are considering between the two. I think generally from our perspective as a manufacturer, it's definitely something worth considering if you're building a family van like Jaron, because it'll tick all those boxes, especially with young kids, and just make it an easier overall experience from that perspective. A lot of people do have questions as well, Jaron, in terms of availability of bags and where you can get all that sort of stuff from. I know that was a concern for you first when you were looking at it as well. And
I think that'll get better, right? I think that'll get better going forward, but at the moment it's online.
Yeah,
online only. And it's from everything I've sort of experienced so far and what I read, I think the support there from Clesana and Porters Australia or whatever, they've got available stock there all the time. So, but I think that'll get better. As I think they'll get better and more local. You'll be able to go get it from Bunnings or any of your sort of mainstream sort of caravan suppliers, BCF for example.
Yeah.
I think that's where it'll go.
Yeah. Okay.
Once it, and we're probably still 12 months, 2 years away from that, but I think that's probably the way it will go. The other point I wanted to raise as well was, and I said this to Naz earlier, it's not just beneficial for your family with young kids. I think it's aimed at the your couples even doing short trips.
Yeah.
Because going away with a composting toilet, doing a weekend or a 1 week trip somewhere, your composting toilet doesn't have that time to do any composting.
Yep.
So they're really that's where this comes in great as well. And I think you'd probably, if you were an older couple, a couple of any age, if you were doing weekenders or short 1 week trips, you would probably be more inclined to look at the older style
chemical toilets.
Chemical toilets, which is what we used to use in the past in our previous vans. But they no one wants to empty out your chemical toilets at the end of the day. They, the smells and odours from those things are not missed. So
the old scissors, paper, rock.
Yeah, exactly. Who gets to do it today? So I think that's a great point as well. That I think probably people overlook when considering Clesanas. Yes, it's a big outlay cost. It's a bigger outlay in the beginning, but I think there's some real benefits there as well for usability.
Yeah, Jared does touch on that. It is a little bit more expensive as an entry point. A Clesana over an Ogo composting toilet that we offer here at Elross anyway. A little bit more wiring and all that sort of stuff that needs to go into fitting it as well, as opposed to an Ogo system. But like you said, the general buyback on that over time in ease of use and convenience probably more than makes up for it over the time as well. All right, Jared, thanks for your time today. Really appreciate it, mate.
No problem at all.
No problems at all. All right, hope that video was handy for anyone that's considering between the Ogo composting toilet and the Clesana. It's the Clesana's viewpoint. It's our first customer that's done the Clesana, so it's really good to get some insight for you customers out there that are considering the Clesana toilet. Thanks, guys.